Hello and welcome to another Tabletop Games Blog Saturday review.
Top Table Award 2024. With 2024 now being officially over, it's time for me to crown the top game of the year. However, in a slight change to the usual proceedings, this time around I'm going to announce a total of 4 awards. After all, one game is never enough. So, here goes. Actually, before I start, let me remind everyone that the games I choose from are those that were new to me in 2024. These games weren't necessarily released that year. They may have been around for a long time, or they are yet to come out this year. I never believed in restricting myself to games published in a single year because it always puts those that came out towards the end of the year at a disadvantage. So if you're looking for a list of the best games released in 2024, you're in the wrong place. Sorry, it's just how it is. There are plenty of other places that will be more appropriate for you. For the rest of you, here are the 4 games I want to call out for having achieved something very special last year, as far as I'm concerned. P.S. Apologies for the food puns. I wanted to name the awards so they had a link to something you have on the table. After all, the blog is called Tabletop Games Blog, so there we go. Signature Dish Awards 2024. If you record your plays like I do, you're easily able to find out which game you played the most. There's one game that really stood out. I played it over 30 times last year and it never got boring for me. In fact, it's still a firm favorite among my game group. So far I've played it only digitally, but it's a game that I would like to add to my collection because I think it would be popular at home. The game I'm talking about is an interesting mix of tableau building, resource management and card drafting, where you are a Viking tribe exploring the world and establishing trade with other cultures. The title of the game is the Norse word for keelboat, a vessel that was specifically designed for trade. You may have already guessed it, that game is Nar by Thomas Dupont from Bombix. You need to check out my review to find out more, but in short, Nar is a wonderful small game that seems quite simple at first, but has a really interesting timing aspect to it and mixes the various mechanisms in a new, clever way. It was released in 2023, but seems to have passed many people by. In my game group, it only really came to the fore in 2024, and it's still a hit with us. Banquet Award 2024. I would also like to honor a game that I've played for the most hours in 2024. After all, playing a quick game many times is easy, but investing time in a longer game is harder. Yet this game clocked up over 22 hours of playing time last year. It's an evergreen title that has seen a large number of expansions and the sort of game that is an interesting mix of luck and strategy. It was released in 2019, so it's a really old game, but one that we keep coming back to. It's become an old, reliable friend. When we play it, we know what we let ourselves in for. There's some tactics, a fair amount of luck and plenty of planning ahead to ensure you have enough resources to do what you want to do. Every game is different, despite us having played it over a dozen times in 2024 alone, and plenty more often since I first brought it to the table. The mix of tableau building, card drafting, resource management, area control, dice rolling, and racing along 4 different tracks is sublime. It's not an amazing game, but a good staple evergreen title. I'm talking of course about Tapestry by Jamie Stegmaier from Stonemaier Games. Yes, it's that one. I know some people don't like it because it's not a 4X or Civ game, but if you ignore how it was promoted, you find a lovely game that you can play over and over again and always have a different experience. Buffet Award 2024. A game that lots of different people enjoy playing is always precious. I think many of us try and want to add such a game to their collection because it's the game that will probably get played the most. So I thought I'd recognize a game in this category with this award. The game was originally released in 2023 and a note under its German title. It has very bright illustrations of 5 different animals that go on a hunt. It's a sort of game about the survival of the fittest, but it's really more of a party game. Sure, you score food tokens for winning a round, but what you really want is to try and gauge what the other players are thinking and planning. It's really simple to explain. In fact, you probably just want to start playing and teach as you go. It plays pretty quickly, and you can easily play additional games if you want to, and most of the time you do want to play just one more. So far I've played this game with 11 different people, which is a new record for me. I think that shows how versatile Pray Another Day by Brad J. Gilbert and Matthew Dunstan from Pegasus Spieler is. I played it with my parents, with one of my nieces, with a family, and with my gaming group, as well as at a board game convention with strangers. These people represent a wide range of tastes in games, willingness to deal with rules, and so on. It underlines what a real chameleon the game is, and it definitely deserves this award. Top Table Award 2024. Finally, we've reached the award of awards. The Top Table Award goes to the game that really stood out for me last year. It's a game from a genre that I could finally fully explore with my friends. It also became a favorite with my dad, brother, and one of my nieces. So this game is very special to me for these and some other reasons, and clearly deserves to be crowned my favorite game of the year. I'm talking about a trick-taking game where you have suits. You have to follow suit and you win tricks. You also bid how many tricks you think you will win this hand. While everyone still plays a single card, you actually have 2 in front of you, a suit card and a value card. Together they make one suited card. When it is your turn, you can only play a single card and either change a suit or the value. It's such a clever twist that really does your head in, but in a good and very satisfying way. The game was released by a small indie publisher, which is also very close to my heart, mainly because of the many trick-taking games they released this year, all of which do something clever. It was hard to choose between them, but the ultimate reason why I chose this game is because my niece liked it so much, I lent it to her to play with her friends, and she's not much of a trick-taking player herself. The game I'm talking about is Charms by Taiki Shinzawa from Numal Industries. The game was originally released in 2014, but the US publisher re-released it this year and I just had to buy it. I was not disappointed, as you can see. It's a very special trick-taking game that I strongly recommend you check out if you can get hold of a copy. So there you have it. Those are the 4 games I wanted to call out for having achieved something special in 2024, at least in my view. They may not represent the hotness or the latest hype, but they each are great games for a good reason. Maybe you will check one of them out for yourself, or maybe you have already played them. Either way, I hope you found these recommendations useful. Happy 2025!
Thank you for listening to this Tabletop Games Blog's Saturday Review podcast. Please check the description below for links mentioned in this episode, as well as to the written version of this article on the blog. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, give us some stars, or leave a review. Please also tell your friends about me, and if you want to offer financial support, check out my Patreon and Ko-fi pages, links to which you'll find in the blog at tabletopgamesblog.com. So thank you again for listening, and I hope to see you again soon.
This podcast was made possible by the generous help of my supporters. Royal Patron Sean Newman, Magic Champion John Risley, Castle Guards David Miller and James Naylor, Dice Masters Alex Bardi, Paul Grogan and Robin Kay, and Shining Lights Jacob Davis, Gavin Jones, Sarah Reed and Richard Simpson.